In today's video, we delve into the complex and interconnected challenges facing the U.S. food system, issues that have been brewing long before the current tariff crisis. We will explore the historical context of food supply problems, the influence of climate change, and escalating production costs that have put pressure on American agriculture. Additionally, we'll examine how trade policies, consumer behavior, and food assistance programs shape the landscape of food security. Join us as we uncover the underlying factors contributing to these food struggles and look towards potential innovations and solutions for a sustainable future. 1. Historical context of U.S. food supply issues. The United States has experienced recurring food supply challenges long before the onset of the latest tariff crisis. Droughts, policy shifts, and economic volatility have historically undermined the stability of the nation's food system. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, the severe drought of 2022 led to a 10% reduction in corn and soybean yields in the Midwest, a region critical for national grain supplies. Food prices surged by 8.5% that same year, reflecting the compounding effects of weather disruptions and logistical bottlenecks. USDA's Economic Research Service noted that these price hikes were among the steepest in recent memory, straining both producers and consumers. These patterns reveal a persistent vulnerability in the American food infrastructure, setting the stage for the additional pressures brought on by trade tensions. The interplay between environmental stressors and policy responses has shaped a food system that is repeatedly tested by both domestic and international events. 2. The impact of climate change on agriculture. Climate change has emerged as a harsh reality for American agriculture, with its impacts now impossible to ignore. In 2023, NOAA recorded one of the hottest years since records began, contributing to a 15% drop in wheat production across the Great Plains. Prolonged heat waves and erratic rainfall patterns have become the new normal, decimating yields of staple crops and reducing the resilience of farming communities. The USDA estimated that 10.5% of U.S. households experienced food insecurity in 2022, a figure influenced heavily by climate-driven reductions in food availability. Crop insurance claims for climate-related losses surged, placing additional financial strain on both farmers and insurers. The ripple effects of these weather extremes extend beyond crop fields, impacting supply chains, food processors, and grocery store shelves nationwide. As climate unpredictability intensifies, the agricultural sector faces mounting uncertainty, threatening the long-term stability of food security in the U.S. 3. Rising production costs and inflation. Farmers across America have faced an unrelenting surge in production costs, driven by inflation and global market volatility. The USDA reported a 12% increase in farming input costs in 2023, with notable spikes in the prices of seeds, fuel, and fertilizers. Nitrogen fertilizer costs, in particular, soared by 50%, influenced by both supply chain interruptions and geopolitical conflict. These escalating expenses forced many farmers to reduce planting or switch to less resource-intensive crops, further tightening supply. Grocery prices responded in kind, rising by 7.5% in 2024 and putting additional pressure on household budgets. The National Farmers Union highlighted that these conditions squeezed profit margins to the lowest point in over a decade. Such financial strain not only discourages future investment in agriculture but also threatens the long-term viability of family farms. The compounding effect of inflation at every stage of the food system has become a critical issue for policymakers and producers alike. 4. Trade policies and tariff implications. Trade tensions and shifting tariff policies have had a direct and measurable impact on the U.S. agricultural sector. Ongoing disputes with China resulted in retaliatory tariffs, causing U.S. agricultural exports to China to fall by 20% in 2023. This sharp decline created domestic surpluses for crops like soybeans, leading to price drops that eroded farm incomes. The American Farm Bureau Federation estimated that farmers lost approximately $20 billion as a result of these trade disruptions. The situation was further complicated by uncertainty around future trade agreements, making it difficult for producers to plan ahead. The oversupply of certain commodities drove some farmers to store unsold crops at significant cost, while others were forced to accept lower prices just to stay afloat. These trade policy shifts added layers of complexity to an already strained food system, linking domestic food struggles with broader international dynamics. The intersection of tariffs and agricultural markets remains a flashpoint for economic and political debate. 5. The role of food assistance programs. Food assistance programs have become a critical safety net for millions of Americans facing rising food insecurity. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, provided benefits to about 41 million people in 2023, marking a 10% increase from the previous year. These programs proved essential during periods of economic instability, enabling low-income families to access nutritious food despite soaring prices. However, the sustainability of such programs has come under scrutiny as budget debates intensify in Congress. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities noted that even slight reductions in funding could have outsized effects on vulnerable populations. School lunch and food bank programs also reported record demand throughout 2023 and into 2024. While these support systems have prevented a more severe food crisis, they are not immune to political shifts and funding uncertainties. The growing reliance on food assistance underscores the need for broader, systemic solutions to address food insecurity. 6. The influence of consumer behavior. Economic pressures and food supply challenges have led American consumers to rethink their purchasing habits in significant ways. A 2024 Food Marketing Institute survey found that 60% of shoppers reported shifting to budget-friendly options, with private label products gaining substantial market share. Consumers are also seeking more locally sourced foods, driven by concerns over supply chain reliability and a desire to support regional producers. Online grocery shopping has seen continued growth since the pandemic, with digital sales accounting for nearly 20% of all grocery transactions in early 2024. Health and wellness considerations have influenced buying decisions, leading to increased demand for fresh produce and plant-based products. Retailers have responded by expanding discount sections and promoting value packs to attract cost-conscious shoppers. These changes in consumer behavior reflect not just a response to price increases but also a broader shift towards resilience and adaptability in the face of ongoing food system challenges. 7. Innovations in food production. Technological advances are offering new hope for addressing persistent challenges in the U.S. food system. Precision agriculture, which uses data analytics and sensors to optimize planting and resource use, has improved crop efficiency by up to 20% according to recent USDA reports. Vertical farming has gained momentum in urban centers, enabling year-round production of fresh fruits and vegetables with minimal land and water use. Companies like Aero Farms and Plenty have expanded their operations in 2024, supplying local markets with high-quality greens. Robotics and automation have also helped mitigate labor shortages, particularly in large-scale farming operations. Meanwhile, gene editing tools such as CRISPR are being used to develop crops that are more resistant to drought and disease. These innovations are not without controversy, as debates continue over the safety and ethics of new technologies. Nevertheless, the food sector's embrace of innovation is a key factor in building greater resilience for the future. 8. The future of food security. Looking ahead, projections indicate that food prices in the United States are likely to continue rising, with a 5% increase expected in 2025 due to sustained inflation and ongoing supply chain pressures. The USDA stresses the urgency of investing in sustainable agriculture and infrastructure to ensure a robust food system. Policy experts have highlighted the need for research into climate-resilient crops, improved water management, and better support for small and mid-sized farms. The National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition has advocated for policies that encourage diversified farming and soil conservation. Without such efforts, the risks of food shortages and price spikes remain high, particularly for low-income and rural communities. Major retailers are already adjusting their supply chains to account for anticipated disruptions, further signaling the need for systemic change. The future of food security will depend on proactive, coordinated action across government, industry, and communities. 9. Case studies. Regional food struggles. regional disparities in food insecurity and production losses have become increasingly pronounced. In the southern U.S., hurricanes and flooding events in 2023 caused extensive crop damage, with Louisiana farmers alone reporting $50 million in losses. The Pacific Northwest faced severe drought conditions, resulting in reduced yields for apples and other fruit crops that form the backbone of the area's agricultural economy. Midwest farmers struggled with both excessive rain and dry spells, disrupting planting schedules and lowering output. Urban food deserts, particularly in cities like Detroit and Chicago, continued to limit access to affordable fresh produce, exacerbating health and nutrition challenges. In California, water restrictions led to fallowed land and cutbacks in vegetable and nut production, affecting both local and national markets. These case studies highlight the complexity and diversity of food struggles across the country, demonstrating that solutions must be tailored to the unique needs of each region.